For Craig Godusky of Allentown, a day on the lake turned into a Labor Day he'll never forget when he landed what he says is a 20-pound tiger muskie. It's called the fish of 10,000 casts because it's so rare to land one.
I was over along the bank for about a half hour, hooked him, landed him in about 15 minutes, and unfortunately he's not going to make it. So we're going to look at getting him mounded.
Not only fishing boats crowded Leaser Lake, there were paddle boards, kayaks, and canoes, too.
I'm probably going to go canoeing with my two other sisters, and I'm going to go all the way out there.
For kids like Gracelyn Oakley of Kempton, Labor Day is a chance to squeeze in a few more summer memories.
Are you sad it's the end of summer?
Not really. I've been looking forward to see who my teacher is, but it's Miss Boyle.
We have to go back to school tomorrow.
Well, how does that make you feel?
Annoyed.
The gentle breeze brought a chill to some swimmers, a reminder that summer is winding down and fall is fast approaching.
For me, it's a kind of sad goodbye to summer, honestly, but I do enjoy the fall weather for the couple months.
Well, we're summer people, so, but I like all four seasons. That's what's nice about Pennsylvania. So it really is a combination of both. It's the end of summer and beginning of fall.
Jacob Howard says he does a lot of fly fishing at Leaser Lake to bide his time while he waits for fall deer hunting season.
It's a perfect 4 seasons, honestly. You get all of them. From the extreme winters, you get the hot summers, you get the nice springs and the nice falls. I love them all here, honestly. I really do.
Hundreds of people are packed in here right now at the Liacouras Center at Temple University in Philadelphia to hear from Kamala Harris and her brand new vice presidential pick, Tim Walz. I spoke with some of them who were waiting in line outside who told me they might not have even come out today had President Biden not made the decision last month to step down and throw his support behind Kamala Harris as the new Democratic presidential nominee. But now they tell me they're re-energized by this new ticket and excited to learn the plan to win this November. The line stretched down the block before noon outside Temple University's Liacouras Center. We met Michelle Banks, waiting out in the heat, who told us she has mixed feelings about the rapid pace with which the Democratic presidential ticket is changing.
First, I was a little sad because it was like, I'm like, go Joe, like he can do this. But then I had to take away my sadness and look at the bigger picture and just see how she, got everybody energized, and she can do this.
And we saw that energy from other people we spoke with as well.
I take her as a role model. I think what she's doing is very remarkable.
We've been re-energized by Kamala's entrance into the race, so we're excited to be here, and we want to demonstrate. We want to bring our young people out so that they know the importance of voting.
And they were just as excited to hear for the very first time from Harris's new running mate, Tim Walz, even if he wasn't their first choice.
We were a little sad that it wasn't Josh Shapiro because that's what we were hoping for, but Tim Walz was really a good candidate as well.
Oh, I'm excited about Tim Walz. He's been very successful as the governor of Minnesota. One of his key things, he's making sure kids are fed. Such an easy, obvious message that every American can relate to. And I'm very excited to see what he can do to help Kamala.
And now that the Democratic ticket is all but official, Banks says it's time for supporters to get to work.
Hitting the ground running, making phone calls, making sure everybody's energetic, ready to vote.
And we'll have full coverage of everything Harris and Walz had to say on the stage tonight in my full story coming up on 69 News at 10 o'clock. For now, in Philadelphia, Rob Manch, 69 News.
Want to go play? You're going to be a good boy?
We are here today to sponsor a Tri-Day meetup, bringing together all of these wonderful dogs.
Tripod is any dog that doesn't have 4 full legs. So you'll see some will have just nothing, some will have little nubs, some may be missing, the bottom of their foot. There's an example kind of every type of tripod here today.
Every dog that has, a disability, we celebrate them. Just because you have 3 legs doesn't mean you're less.
Socialization for all dogs is a great thing in general, but for these dogs, it's cool for people to see that, just because they have a different body part or disability, they still can rage like the rest of the dogs. And honestly, dogs adapt so quickly. Rico had his twisted front arm till he was about 12 weeks. And then when we removed it, he was literally doing steps the next day.
Yeah, such a good girl.
Tripods are predisposed to a lot of medical conditions that otherwise they wouldn't be if they had 4 legs. So we worry about hyperextension, spinal issues, arthritis, early onset arthritis. Trip is 3 and he already has it. His jacket is by 3D Pets. This is our special edition for Tri-Day, tricolors for Tri-Day. It's a TPU material. So what that allows us to do is create different points of rigidity and flexibility. So you can see right here where he needs space to breathe, it'll bend because dogs breathe and, you know, their bodies expand, and so their harnesses should do the same. But here where his mount is, it's super rigid so that he doesn't have any sort of flexion and he can lean on a leg. Our goal essentially is just to create, you know, the best mobility devices out there. We take total pride in everything that we do. Everything is completely custom. So our goal really is just to, you know, enhance the quality of life of dogs like Trip and all the ones you see here today.
Aim. Fire. Ready?
We're here to commemorate my Uncle Earl coming home. As it was stated, our grandparents wished that my Uncle Earl would be brought home, and we're here to experience that today.
As you may know, Earl was a mechanic who grew up right here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. He was the second oldest of 10 children. Earl passed in July of 1942 at the Cabanatuan Prisoner of War Camp number 1.
When I was younger, I remember my mom and aunts and uncles all talking about my Uncle Earl, and the conversation was generally always wondering what happened to him.
The family always talked about the missing Earl. What happened to Earl? I wanted to know, for my grandparents' sake and for my mom and my dad's sake. My dad was my uncle's best friend.
We're one of the only countries, if not the only country, that has the effort and the funds to go back and retrieve the soldiers, both men and women that have fallen. As a military member, believe into your core. And if you don't necessarily believe it, you're exposed to, and one of those is you'll never leave a fallen comrade. So Earl is a brother in arms for me, and I take that extremely serious. If it weren't for the Earls of the world, I wouldn't have a path of which to follow. There would be no legacy for us to follow.
When I had to pick a funeral date, Allie and I helped choose Memorial Day weekend, because this weekend is not to have a doggy roast or to go down to the shore or take a 3-day vacation. Think about the ones that are in cemeteries, the families that gave a son or a daughter and they didn't come back. Spend the whole weekend honoring our servicemen, and we decided that's what we were going to do.
But every hot dog, every burger, every spin around a lake or a drink with friends or family, consider it a debt that was purchased by someone else. This is the one to honor the ones who've paid their life in blood, whose moms never saw them again, whose dads wept in private, whose wives raised kids alone, and whose kids only remembered them from pictures. This isn't simply a day off. It's a day to remember that others paid for every free breath that we as Americans get to take.
It's an exciting day here at Lehigh Valley International Airport. Today is a Wings for All event in partnership with the ARC of Lehigh and Northampton counties. A dress rehearsal opportunity for folks to use the airport, get the airport experience, get on board an aircraft, and really for families that have a family member with an intellectual or developmental disability, really gives them an opportunity to experience the airport and what that experience is like if they're going to take a trip, if they're going to fly.
For many families, airline travel is something that they never even considered because there are so many things. I mean, think about it. When you go to the airport, you have to wait. You gotta get your bags checked. You gotta walk through TSA. There's all kinds of announcements. It's very stimulating. If you're an individual with a disability, those things can just be so frightening.
This is really stepping them through that process in a very stress-free way, we hope. Gives them an ample opportunity to see if this is something that really could work for their family.
Besides being a benefit for the individual and the families, it's a benefit for the wider community. It brings awareness, and that's really what this is about.
This is really not just a dress rehearsal for the families, but it's also a great stress-free learning environment for the staff here as well. It's an opportunity for the TSA to work through a process with an individual who might not process like the regular passenger that they see come through the checkpoint.
The airport has been a tremendous partner. You know, there are people that have been here before, worked with us on this. There are new people, and just for them to say, wow, this has been so helpful to me, I didn't know.